Oh,
It's recording.
Credit where credit is due.
yeah, well, that's exactly what I'm trying to avoid,
The red light went on.
liability. All right, let's get the personnel committee started. The time is 7:05, August 18th, and we'll start off with a roll call.
Alder Dorf here. Veronica Corpus Dax present.
Alder Lefebvre, present.
Okay, all are here and accounted for. I'm looking for, next, an approval of the agenda. Is there anyone that wants to make any changes to the agenda? Okay, I would like to move item 6 to be immediately after number 2. And I'd like to move number 8 to be immediately after number 6. I know we have some people here that would like to speak to that, and it's been a long day.
And
We need to
eight,
get-
Where? 8.
8 will be right after number 6.
Okay, all right. 2, 6, 8. 1, 2, 6, 8. And I'll, is that a motion you made? And I'll second that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
And, okay, all those approved?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? All right, and next,
Who seconded the motion?
Alder
I
Dorf.
did.
Okay, and I'm looking for a motion for to approve the minutes.
Move to approve the minutes.
second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And that passes. All right. Now on to regular business. Item number 1, consideration with possible action on request or award a 3-year contract with 2 one-year renewal options to provide health risk assessment, HRA services for city employees and spouses to Bell and Health for $216,000 or $72,000 per year. Staff?
We conducted an RFP for these services. Our 5-year contract, which is currently with Bell and Health, expires at the end of this year. We did the RFP, we received 4 responses, and we are recommending the award to Bell and Health again. I included the scoring and pricing summary in your packets. Bell scored the most points. They were just slightly higher than the number 2 in terms of the cost per year. But they're the incumbent vendor, and they have met the needs very well of the Human Resources Department.
Okay.
Any questions?
No? Move to approve.
Second.
Motion approved by Alder Dorf, seconded by Alder Corpus Dax. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. Thank you. Item number 2, consideration with possible action on a request to approve the 2018-2020 labor agreement between the City of Green Bay and Local 420 bus mechanics. Staff?
Do we need to go into closed session?
No.
The city and the bus mechanics union, we have reached a tentative agreement as a result of our mediation session last month. And what you have in front of you is a copy of what that tentative agreement looks like. This TA reflects the items that I reviewed with the committee back in June before our mediation session. But in summary, this is a 3-year contract. It'll be in effect retroactively to January 1 of this year through December 31st, 2020. In terms of the economic issues and wages, for 2018, we will be implementing the city salary plan retroactive to January 1 of 2018 based upon the city's proposal with respect to placement of the individuals on the plan. Reclassification of the 2 fuelers will be effective upon ratification of the contract, and they'll assume their new responsibilities. And then there'll be a 2% increase effective October 1, and then employee step increases will be implemented effective December 1 of 18. And 2019 and 20 look very similar in that regard with the 2% and the employee step increases, for a total contract cost over the 3 years of $45,625. And then on the back side, I've just provided you some minor language changes. This particular union will be participating in the Health 1265 program, which basically, if an employee reaches 1,265 points, they receive an insurance discount. And then we did some minor housekeeping with some language modifications.
Okay. Any questions for staff? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve, or go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the report.
Second.
Okay, motion by,
This one, also.
I'm sorry?
No.
Okay.
Just capture the motion.
Motion by Alder LaFave to approve, seconded by Alder Dorf. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. All right, we'll move on to item 6. Consideration with possible action on a review of compensation for shift change grievance. Staff.
And that's where both parties have requested that we actually hold this until the next meeting in September to give us a chance to find a resolution for it.
Okay.
Entertain a motion on that?
I move to hold it till our next meeting.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Dorf to hold for 1 month to the next meeting, seconded by Alder Corpus Dax. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. Okay, now we're going to skip down to number 8. Consideration with possible action on a request by Alder Galvin that the city adopt Wisconsin Statute 230.35 sub 2D as it pertains to city employees who are in the process of being organ donors. I was approached by a city employee who's very interested in becoming an organ donor. He made me aware of the state statute and how it pertains to people that are donating organs and how the state has helped those employees out. I'm also aware of employees for the city in the past who have been recipients of or been donors to organ donors. I'm also aware of a gentleman I used to work with that spent his entire time while he was working with me waiting for a donor to come forward and give him an organ that would have made his life so much better. After reading through the ordinance or the state statute, I thought this is something that if we were to adopt for all city employees, there is some cost associated with it. I don't think it's a great amount, and I think it's something that as we encourage people to become organ donors on their driver's license, there's drives out there to look for organ donors. We've seen how so much people's lives can be affected by someone being willing to step up and doing something that to me is almost frightening, to give part of your body to another human being, and the risks involved and everything else. But you see the good that comes out of it. I just think it's the least we could do as a community to support those employees and consider adopting this statute into our ordinance.
I believe in organ donors. I was one, but I had to take it off when I had cancer because it could be, somewhere in my body. The only thing I could give is my eyes, but I don't have good eyes either, so I had to take it off,
Sure.
unfortunately. But I do believe in this very much.
All right. We have some interested parties that would like to speak, so I'd entertain a motion to open the floor.
Motion open floor. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. The floor is open if anyone would like to approach and say something.
Have some paperwork, can I approach and pass it on?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the statute that.
Thank you.
There's two there. There you go.
There's two.
Give him a few.
Unless you need it.
You've got an extra one here. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous, but my name is Scott Asplin. I'm a police officer for the city of Green Bay for 23 years. Of that 18 years, I've been with the great city of Green Bay. Today, I'm here on my own. I'm not representing the police department, so just to make sure that's clear. I want to thank you for taking the time on this issue, letting me speak for a few minutes. Bear with me, I do not consider myself a public speaker, but I do my best here tonight. If you have some questions I can answer, just please let me know. This started in January when I became aware that my wife's cousin, Karina, was in great need of a kidney. The primary reason that her family had planned, or the primary person in her family that had planned on donating a kidney was not medically able to donate, which left her with no one. She was entering stage 5 kidney failure, which meant she would be getting dialysis done on a routine basis. Her family had a hereditary condition called polycystic kidney disease. My wife's father, Dennis, had already donated a kidney to her mother, and she has lived for 22 years because of that donation. It's still going strong. Back in January, other family members, including myself, started the process to donate a kidney. Other family members did not qualify because of various reasons, and I was the only one able to donate it to Karina. The process to donate a kidney starts with an online form. Later you're providing multiple blood samples. It ends with a 3-day very thorough medical evaluation done at the Rochester, where I went was the Rochester, Minnesota, the Mayo Clinic, which was very impressive, by the way. At some point in the process, when I realized there was a decent chance that I would be going forward with donating a kidney, I reached out to City Hall and asked the benefit department if donating an organ was something covered under city policy. And if it did, what it entailed, because I would be taking some time off. So the response I got from city was that under FMLA, they would give me time off that's unpaid. So that's pretty much how it works. So according to what I was told by the staff at Mayo Clinic, there were numerous other areas that offer benefits to people that are donating organs, like the state of Wisconsin that Alderman Galvin mentioned. In fact, the state of Wisconsin offers these 30 days and 5 days if you even donate bone marrow. I went ahead with the donation, and I used my vacation time. I did have the option to use sick time, but as I'm reaching the final years of my employment, trying to save the hours so I have funds for insurance for a few years, or if I have a major medical problem for myself, I can use them for that situation. I am pleased to report Karina is doing very well. She has been suffering for approximately 9 years, getting worse as the time went on. There are currently over 115,000 people waiting for an organ donation at this moment. Many will die on the waiting list because either a living donor or a deceased donor will not be located in time. Because of the nature of the disease in Karina's family, it's likely more members will at some point need a kidney donation. I'm here today, hopefully to have our city policy reconsidered and possibly adopt something similar to the state of Wisconsin policy that allows paid leave for someone that donates to save someone's life. Besides the 3 days of medical evaluation at Rochester, I was there for surgery for another 6 days. For approximately 6 weeks, I was on restricted status. While I was recovering, I will be returning in October for another 2-day follow-up evaluation. I returned to normal work status as of approximately 2 weeks ago. Should this change in policy go in effect, it will not benefit me. I believe that a policy change may encourage more employees to donate. And not only did I take a financial loss by not being able to work special functions during this time, I was told at one point I couldn't even earn payback and do training that I'd earlier been asked to attend in a late duty status capacity, which was I kind of felt like it was a kick in the pants, while you're down and struggling, and then, it's just the way the policy is set up currently. So there is a financial and medical impact that affects the donor. By having the city help provide paid days off, the donor would not be forced to use their own sick or vacation time or go without pay. This could greatly encourage people to consider donating. In fact, most city employees probably don't have that much sick time or vacation time at their disposal to make that work. If this policy goes through, I do not expect people lined up at the door asking to donate their organs. It's a very invasive procedure that only a few people likely be willing to participate in. I speak on behalf of the 115,000 people waiting for an organ transplant, asking you please vote to consider this change in policy. In Wisconsin alone, there are almost 2,000 people waiting for at least one organ. I was told that some of the people in need are from our armed forces that served and are suffering from Agent Orange. Many of these people, again, will die while waiting for an organ. If the next step is a city council meeting, I would gladly come back. And if help, I would bring back the recipient, Karina, assuming she is willing to talk, and maybe others that deal with organ donation. I would hope that the city of Green Bay could be a leader in this area, and hopefully this might encourage other local governments like Brown County or Ashwaubenon and other cities around the state to adopt the same policy. The Dane County and the city of Madison and a few other places all have similar policies in place. If this policy could save one life, it would be worth it. I know you give the police department millions of dollars to effectively save lives on a routine basis, but this is one way to have a tangible effect for a lot less money. Thank you for your time and consideration. Again, if you have any questions.
Sure. Scott, when you said you were restricted for 6 weeks, were you able to do light duty work at the PD?
After 4 weeks, I was allowed, then I got a clearance to do light duty, but on light duty status, you're not allowed to do anything that might incur payback training. So I could have went and done some work.
But I
yes.
mean, and what happened during that 4 weeks that you couldn't do it was because your doctor said he didn't want you?
Right, yeah, you're,
Okay.
and you can't lift much, maybe I could have pushed and tried to get back a little sooner, but they were very concerned that I might get a hernia and honestly, this discomfort is pretty bad for the first 2 to 3
Sure.
weeks, so I wouldn't want to come back even if they said you could have came back earlier.
Okay, but I mean, the potential is there. I mean, so you can get back involved with the department and.
Right, yeah, around 4 weeks, I would have been okay doing some paperwork around the station
Sure.
or doing light duty type status things, that would have been that would have been feasible.
And they're always looking for people to do that kind of work at the department.
Right, yep, and that's why I approached Mayo Clinic and said, hey, I want to get back in the game, at least light duty status if something comes up. So they were good, they said, yeah, you're fine, as long as you're not lifting anything, so I got it adjusted at 4
Okay.
weeks to return to work, so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Scott. Is there anyone else that would like to address the committee?
Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl Renier-Wick. I'm the Assistant Development Director for the City of Green Bay, but I'm also the successful recipient of a stem cell transplant as well as a kidney transplant. So I've been fortunate enough to have donors that would come forward that would be willing to be a living donor. I don't really have any prepared statements about this. I did talk to Alderman Geldman about this, but in my experience, I was an employee here. I was on what was called peritoneal dialysis, so I did 4 exchanges a day. I did 2 of them at work. And I can't even explain to you the difference it is to have that kidney transplant and how it transforms your life. I mean, I'm back to normal. I say normal now.
Yeah,
You know me, right?
Do that
But I'm able to do everything I could before. So that, and my donor was a city employee, Andy Rosendahl, who was chief of staff. At the time, donated his kidney. Actually, he came back. He was a young guy, thankfully, but I think he came back after 3 weeks or 4 weeks, so he was feeling good enough to do that. But luckily, he had some vacation time, and he just probably took some time, no pay, to get that done, and I thank him for that. But I would be very much in support of having something in place where if someone was willing to donate an organ, that they had the ability to do that without being penalized for it.
When you were waiting for that organ donation, how much of your day was taken up with medical treatment?
Well, I had, every one of my exchanges was about 20 minutes to a half an hour, depending how that went, through the abdomen type of a situation. So you have to close off, clean up, do those types of things. So, probably an hour or 2 a day, 4 times a day. And of course, you're restricted on how you can go because you have to take all your stuff with you. So, I mean, it was either that or you go into the clinic and actually do, the blood transfer, which then you're out for 4 or 5 hours a day.
And that could have been your rest of your career here, every day.
Every day, yep, until that really would happen until I had a donor or I died, either one, so. So just even for the donor's, sake, for if it's a city person, I mean, it's really made a difference in my life and made me far more productive than when I was going through dialysis, so.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Alder Story has one cousin.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. I applaud your efforts on this.
Do you mind coming up for the recording? Thank you. Otherwise, you won't be on video.
I don't know, is that good? Anyway, thank you for your efforts on this. I myself am an organ donor. On my license, I haven't given it yet. But I think one of the misconceptions, of being an organ donor, if you list it on your license, I've had people tell me, well, if you get in a car accident, they'll choose you to go down. I know it's bad, but I'm just saying that I've heard that from people. But, if you can get up beyond that and just say, look, I'm trying to do something good. Barbara, you're right?
Yes,
Confused by
I'm just
that?
thinking of, wow, yes. I
Well, no,
never
I'm
heard
just
of
saying,
that.
people have come,
Wow.
they're saying that, what, so if there's an accident and there's 2 of you there and one of you is an organ donor, they'll go after the other person.
Okay, I've just
that's-
never heard anything like that.
I've heard
Okay.
that from a couple people. And
That
it's
is
just,
I'm just was you
absolutely not
shocked
true.
me.
that's not true.
It's
Well,
not
good.
Absolutely not true.
I was,
Thank you.
you shocked me.
I'm sorry I haven't brought it up. But anyway, I just commend you for that, and I would like to work with the council and staff to try to get something done with this. I think, a lot of times when you do give, you have 3 or 4 weeks that you are off, and why be penalized more? You're doing something very good for yourself and the community and for somebody else, so why be penalized for that? Thank you.
Exactly.
Anyone else? Take a
Motion to close the floor, return to regular order.
Okay. Motion to close the floor by Alder Dorf, second by Alder LaFave. All in favor?
No,
Or-
purpose tax.
Corpus tax, I'm sorry.
Okay. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes unanimously.
Okay. I am definitely in favor of doing this, so I guess I would like to ask staff, how can we go about doing this? We have to have an ordinance written up, or?
I think it'd probably be better suited to have a policy on this. So we
Policy.
just changed the
Policy.
handbook to do that.
Okay.
I think either you could refer it back to staff, we could draft something for you to review, or I guess maybe you approve it tonight, and then I guess we just go ahead and change it and, for
We
your
probably
review.
should review it.
Yeah.
I would think it should come back, so.
To make
Can
sure.
I
that
would,
what-
yeah, I guess I would move that we refer it to staff to come back, hopefully by our next meeting,
Yeah, we
with
can do
a
that.
change in policy on this, supporting what the state has. And thank you so much for coming
Yes,
forward.
absolutely. Yes.
and doing that. Thank you.
I'll second that.
All right, motion by Alder Dorf, second by Alder Veronica.
Corpus
I
know, it's stressful.
Too late, we hit that 3-hour mark. To refer to staff, all in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, that passes unanimously. All right, let's go back up.
We're back to 3.
Number 3.
It's gonna take just a second.
Okay.
All right.
Consideration with possible action on request to fill the following replacement positions and all subsequent vacancies resulting from internal transfers. Administrative clerk in the Community and Economic Development, building inspector in Community and Economic Development, administrative clerk in the police, assistant fire chief for EMS training and support, a carpenter for Parks, Rec, and Forestry, administrative clerk for Public Works, and a mechanic for Public Works staff.
So we have a number of positions that we're looking to fill, and then you guys have a memo on those positions. If you have any questions, we do have staff here that can answer those questions if you want.
Can we take them all at the same time?
Yeah,
or
you
do we
can.
have to do them individually?
We'll
Okay.
take them out at the same time.
Anybody have questions?
No.
I move to approve.
Second.
All right, which one of you said second?
They're both dead.
I don't care. Motion by Alder Dorf, seconded by Alder LaFave to approve all of the staff changes and subsequent internal moves. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Number 4, consideration with possible action request from the police department to fill one additional patrol sergeant position and all subsequent vacancies resulting from internal transfers to staff.
So at the last meeting in July, we had 2 sergeant positions, and at that time, we had a vacancy for, one more opening due to a retirement, or I think it might have been actually, the employee went to another department. We then told you we'd talk to our finance department and see if we can hire the extra sergeant to offset some of the overtime. They did tell us that we could do that. I don't have any documentation on it, so if you do want something, I could present that to the common council, but finance did meet with the police department and myself to say that this would offset the overtime that we're doing right now.
Okay. Somebody else make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept.
Second.
Approve.
Okay, motion by Alder LaFave, second by Alder Corpus Dax to approve the additional patrol sergeant being filled in all subsequent vacancies resulting from internal transfers. All in favor?
Aye.
And none are opposed, that passes unanimously. Number 5, consideration with possible action request to approve out-of-state travel for fleet manager Nathan, help me out here. Watching, for pre-delivery inspection of 2 automated sanitation collection trucks at Auto Care Manufacturing in Birmingham, Alabama on September 2018 at no cost to the city for transportation, room, or board. Staff.
So you do have in your packet the out-of-state travel request. If you have any questions, Director Grenier is here. I could answer your questions.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Dorf, seconded by Alder Corpus Dax to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
And it passes unanimously. We did 6, we're on to 7. Consideration with possible action on an amendment to a charter ordinance modifying term limits for the mayor, the alderman, and municipal judge. Staff? Or,
So I believe Chief of Staff Jeffries was going to speak to this. I don't think she's here tonight. I don't think the mayor was able to make it, I think due to the timing of the meeting, so
Sure.
I'm not sure.
I would like to speak to it. Okay. So, this is about term limits. And so we've been talking about this for a few months. And it's my personal opinion that it should not be up to council. That should be up to the citizens of the city, if we're gonna make such a change, that it belongs in a referendum. And so I would like to propose a referendum, and I've worked on trying to make up a simple referendum. It's not very easy to do. So I think there'd probably be some wordsmithing that needs to be done. Trying to find where I put it down here. On it, but should we talk about this first before I
Sure.
even read it? You know what? Here it is.
We could, I mean, if you just want to give your reasoning behind it?
Well, I think that there's some value. I know that there was an advisory referendum on this. I don't know how many years ago. I know that it was passed by the public, said yes, there should be term limits, but then it went back to council because it was just an advisory referendum, and that nothing came of it. And so I would say that I would like, if we do it, it should be a binding referendum, and we should let the public decide whether or not we should have term limits. And I would be looking at term limits on mayor, alderman, and mayor, alderperson, and municipal judge.
And what was the last one?
Municipal judge.
Oh,
And what kind of, so you're just looking for a referendum, you're not setting any parameters or?
Right, I would say, here's the referendum, and this, again, could absolutely be changed. So beginning with the 2019 election, and for all elections thereafter, shall the total length of service for the position of mayor, alderperson, and municipal judge be limited, so that no person may be elected to consecutive terms totaling more than 12 years. So just across, and there's some thought of having alders maybe go to 3-year terms instead of 2-year terms. I think there's some merit in that. But that would be something then that I wouldn't
separate.
specifically put in there, and that would be something that council could decide. Also, there's been talk about staggering the elections. I think, I see some concerns with that, because somebody would have to start out with running like 2 years in a row
Right.
if we were gonna stagger them, like the school board does. So I'm not sure how that would work, but I didn't want to muddy the waters by putting in the amount of times. Limiting it, saying that consecutive terms, council can decide terms totaling more than 12 years. That's where I'd like to start.
Okay, Alderman LaFave?
You could potentially have the whole council gone. So that could actually be a crisis. I mean,
Well, every other year, you could potentially have the whole council gone, but you could potentially have the whole
Right,
council
you can,
and the
but
mayor
this-
gone if you did 3-year terms.
Yes.
However, I played that out a little bit with starting,
Yeah.
and 3 times 4 is 12,
I
but
kind of, I can see value in that, yet I can see problems with it too.
with the
So
3
I'm
years, so
kinda-
you're liking the 2 years better?
Or should we
No,
focus on
I'm-
a referendum of should we focus this discussion on
okay.
term limits, period?
Just term
We can
limits.
discuss
Okay.
go to the
time
Yeah,
frames later.
yeah, because that's not even
Yeah.
something
So
we
let's
can
just keep
discuss
this
right now.
on whether we're gonna have term limits, referendum, or not.
Yeah, so I don't know how I would, if we had a vote on that, I don't know how I would vote, because I know there's some value to that, but yet I still see problems
Okay.
that could come up. That's why this is something, I don't know, I gotta think more on it, I think. Get some more opinions from other people, or,
Ron?
Alder Story.
Mark? Yeah, you gotta take the long walk, man.
Oh, yeah. I need to exercise. Actually, I kind of like your proposal, because I was thinking of testifying about all the different elements that go into this, and it could be dicey. Would you be looking at from now on? or
Yes.
it
No,
wouldn't-
it would not be retro, it couldn't be.
It wouldn't be retroactive, okay.
It just couldn't be.
That
no,
was,
that wouldn't.
That
that
would
was
be.
just my one little point.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Are there any other alders that would like to speak? Alder Weary?
And I know you have a potential change to it, putting it, but you didn't vote on that, so really the issue is term limits right now.
Right.
Right.
And I don't know, maybe it can be corrected, but should the agenda item read Mayor Schmidt's proposal? Because it really didn't appear from nowhere.
You know, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know who put this item in here, but if he's the one that did, then he should certainly get credit for it.
I think
But,
it's been in the news saying it was his idea, and I think he gives state of the city
Sure.
stating that, so things should just be transparent
Yeah,
of where it came from.
I don't have an issue with that.
Okay, so maybe we could correct it before it goes to council.
Yeah, we can do that.
Couple points. I think it's a solution looking for a problem. Turnover is not an issue with the city council. It's not. You look at our current makeup. We have 5 with 0 years experience, 5. 3 with 2 years experience up to this point. 1 with 4, 1 with 6. So 10 out of the 12 have 6 years or less experience. 2 have more than 12. So it's really, there's a natural progression that occurs. It takes care of itself. I haven't had anyone, I don't see a groundswell of people demanding this. I don't see anyone here, maybe there's someone from the public, but I haven't heard it. So far, this has just been generated by the mayor. I see no need that all of a sudden we have to take this up. There is a means that if the public wants a referendum, that they can go out there and get the signatures and put it on a referendum. The same thing came up when we voted on the mayor's removal. A lot of people said it shouldn't be our choice, it should be the people's choice, put it back on the people. Well, they didn't do anything about it, so I guess they didn't care about it. So, maybe we should put the mayor's removal on a referendum, I don't know. It's very undemocratic. Removing a voter's choice is undemocratic. It's really insulting to the voters, really telling them, you know what, we've had enough of that person, we think you need to move on. Hopefully the next person is just as good. I don't know. Kind of call it, I guess, the Zimmer factor, really, Representatives from around the city can't remove someone they don't like. Whoever it is, in the future, the next 200 years. But a term limit does that, automatically. So the rest of the city is basically telling everybody, you can't have a good representative for a long time. You just can't. You're going to have to suffer through some bad ones and some good ones. You can't have a good one long term. New is not always better. I mean, I've served with a lot of new people throughout the years. Some were real go-getters. Amazing. Some were bobblehead tag-alongs, and they were 2 years and gone because they didn't do the work. So new isn't always better. Can be. There's great benefits to experience. Long-term elected officials a lot of time maintain their passion and vision, or they're gone. I mean, I think our mayor would even tell you, his 4th term, certainly he's been energetic and full of vision. Is he saying that he wished he wouldn't have served a 4th term because he lacked vision and lacked to get up and go? I don't think he would say that. So he's kind of just, him personally is just proving what he's trying to do. Long-term representatives build relationships with decision makers. They know the ins and outs of governments. They know the history of issues. They can say, hey, we handled this 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and here's what happened. Alderman Nenning, Alderman Zima, a lot of people would bring it up and say, hey, we did that. Alderman Tyson, who served 30-some years, he knew issues that had been brought up multiple times that staff didn't even know. I sent, I think, everybody on the council just some links to articles. There are a lot of cities around the country who are experiencing maybe some issues they wish they hadn't done term limits because it empowers bureaucracy. If you have a constant turnover of the electoral branch, it empowers the bureaucratic branch, and even to some extent the mayor side. So I would not be for it because I haven't heard an outcry about it, and I think it's undemocratic. I don't think we need to put it to referendum. If the citizenry wants to do it, there's a means for them to do it, certainly. So that's all I have.
Does anyone have any questions for Alderman Weary?
No, I had one gentleman call me, and he said that, he was going to go out and get the petition, though.
But
And that's what I feel it should be, because I was involved in something that we came forward to the council. We had to get thousands of signatures, months we spent. We got the signatures, we presented to the city council, and then we got our referendum. But I think for I believe in referendums, but I think they should be generated from the people who really care about it and bring it forward.
And I do think
And then
there
the council will decide.
perhaps is a danger of putting it on a fall election. Most people are there for federal and state, and that's their thought. Federal, state, federal, state, federal, state. They see term limits, we've got to get rid of the governor, or their state representatives, their senators after a certain amount of time. So will it be clear with everyone that it's about the city council and not higher levels?
You know, but at the same point, you're saying you don't want to take away the will of the peoples.
I'm saying if we artificially put it on
Right.
there. I mean, if they put it on and want it on fall, well, then that's what the people want.
All right.
I wouldn't mind.
Brian, do you have anything? Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak to this? We'll open up the floor. No? Okay. I'm torn. I mean, when I ran against, there were 5 of us. The incumbent lost in the primary. I mean, I don't like taking away the will of the people to be able to choose who represents them. And I think that happens. Can good come of it? Yes. But can bad come of it? I think also. And that's why, and I haven't had really any input other than what I've seen on social media. And if any of those people live in my district, they certainly haven't let me know about it. I guess I'm still on the fence. I haven't made up my mind just yet exactly where I want to go on this. But it's again, this country was based on people having the right to pick who represented them, and not having an ordinance or a law that takes people out of that play.
Precedent.
You know, right? And is that right? I mean, other states have it, but I just don't know if it's right to have term limits. I'm not sure. Like I said, I can see the good of it, and I can see the bad of it. And I guess I'd be more interested in hearing what the public has to say. If they feel it's something that they want to put their 2 cents in.
The gentleman that called me, he couldn't come tonight. He just wanted to let me know what he was going to do. But I think I prefer to wait to see if he gets the signatures. Then we know that there is a real push out there that people are really concerned about it, to have a referendum. I don't think I want to do it right now. Just say, let's have a referendum and put it on the book ballot and.
Well, but it's also our job to represent the people, and if putting a referendum out to them gives them that opportunity.
Yeah, that's what.
I mean, obviously, look at how many
exactly
people are
what
here,
I'm
how many people show up at all our meetings. I mean, it's hard for them, and it's hard for them to get involved, and that's why they elect us to represent them also at the same time, so.
Well, for what I did, we did the work. We did the, around the sidewalks, we were pounding, the pavement. We got the signatures to show that we were committed, concerned, and enough people in the community were also committed and concerned. And we presented it to the city council. We went through all the hoops. That's what they pretty well told us to do. We did it, we presented it, and we got the city to approve it. To me, personally, I think people need to do the job. You can't have just, a couple of people come say, oh, let's do it.
So you had a referendum.
Yes.
What was it on?
Move to amend,
That's what?
move to amend, constitutional amendment to overturn the U.S. Supreme Court where citizen, corporations were considered as citizens.
Okay. Did the referendum pass?
Yes.
Barb, can you remind me, would your referendum be binding or not binding?
It would be binding.
Binding, okay.
There already was one. I mean, there's precedent. There already was one that was non-binding, and the public did want term limits. So that's why I would say this would be binding.
How many years ago
I
was
think 16 or 18.
Oh,
It
must
was,
be. Oh, that's-
it was 92?
Oh,
Long.
then
I thought it was only.
Yeah.
That was a good year.
No, that's.
I didn't know. And it was a long time ago.
Sentiment changes, so yeah.
But we can find that out via a
Sure.
referendum,
All right.
whether sentiment changes. I think we should bring it to council. I think this is the item that council needs to talk about. And you have another older.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, Mark. Yeah, it's.
It can get up
Walking.
again.
You getting your steps in tonight?
There's one right there.
Actually, thank you, Chair. I'd like to piggyback a little bit on what Alder Weary said, and he did send out some articles, and I did read them. And I'm just going to read a couple little things here. This was from the New York Times. It says, the bedrock of American democracy is the voter's right to choose. Term limits are seductive, promising relief from mediocre, self-perpetuating incumbents and gridlocked legislatures. They are also profoundly undemocratic, arbitrarily denying voters the ability to choose between good politicians and bad. One common complaint of term limits is that they force politicians to focus on small bore projects that can be achieved quickly rather than visionary ideas. Most places that are trying to relax term limits are likely to do so via the ballot box with a referendum. But such elections do not attract many voters. In the end, a vote by the council is probably the most democratic way to address the matter. Now, granted, this is only one opinion, but, you know, like I said, I would prefer, as Alder Dorf said, to listen to what the council says on this. You know, we're gonna discuss it. And I'm on the fence as well. I'm about half and half as far as figuring out what to do with this.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion on the floor.
I'm about 50-50 as well. I mean, I can see the good, I can see the bad. I can see both sides of the story.
Do I need to?
But
No.
I'd be happy to move this to council and have the discussion amongst everyone.
Sure.
Yes, so make a motion to what, to?
Well, Barb has a motion.
I guess I'll put the motion as having a binding referendum with this wording, and then we can go from there at council. So I would move that, beginning with, that we put to referendum, beginning with the 2019 election and for all elections thereafter, shall the total length of service for the position of mayor, alderman, alderperson, and municipal judge be limited, so that no person may be elected to consecutive terms totaling more than 12 years.
Okay, that's the motion. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Okay, motion by Alder Dorf, seconded by Alder Corpus Dax. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes,
Point of
sorry.
clarification, are you looking for the referendum to be scheduled for this fall,
Yes, for November.
based on that motion, so
Yeah.
that the 2019 spring elections, is
Right,
when these would be enacted? Okay, I just
Right.
wanted to understand that clearly.
Right.
Thank you.
right.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And one, okay, so we have 3 ayes and
I don't
1
know
no.
fall election.
Okay.
All right.
Is there enough time to
We
put
could
that?
just,
There's just enough time if we decide at the next council meeting.
Okay, is everyone? All right.
But we'll talk about it.
All right.
That's it.
All right, now on to informational. E1, recruitment initiated to add 1 full-time 4K nature teacher and 1 full-time 4K naturalist beginning with the 2018-19 school year. Revenue from the Green Bay Public School District fully offsets the salaries and WRS benefits of both positions. Staff.
So again, there was a memo put together in the packet that outlines that there's a 4K program at the Wildlife Sanctuary, and that the teachers and naturalists out there are funded by the school district, and that's why it's informational for you all.
Is this kind of like the SRO program?
It's, I guess,
Are the employees of the city, but their salaries paid for by the
Yes.
school?
that's correct, yes.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
all right.
Right.
And they answer to, though, the city?
Yes, that's correct.
And
The
everything.
Wildlife Sanctuary Superintendent.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Comments, concerns?
That's a
Yeah,
great
Brian.
program.
Joe, and I think you answered some of these questions to me through email, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure that I fully understood them.
Yep.
So they're not employees of the school district, they are city employees.
That's correct.
They are. That's what they have been for years.
Okay, is there a reason, I mean, I don't understand that. It says that the positions are contracted, so they're not eligible for health insurance or other benefits
Mhm.
offered by the city, so are they city employees or not?
Yes, they are. They're contracted city employees that are funded by the school district. The school district gets a stipend per student that then is used to fund for the teacher and the naturalist.
So they're like, I mean, are they limited term employees?
They're just contracted employees, is how we consider them.
Okay, so they're paid like a 1099? Like a 1099 contractor?
No, they have a bi-weekly wage. I mean, they're paid bi-weekly. They have a certain salary amount that they get. I mean, they're hourly employees. They have a wage rate. They get paid bi-weekly.
Okay, so they have some sort of classification then that makes them ineligible for other benefits?
They are limited term employees.
Yes.
So they are limited.
Okay.
Seasonal.
Yep.
Okay, and has there been a challenge in these positions in terms of retention?
We've had the program, this is going to be our 5th year, and we're going on our 3rd teacher. We have hired our We have an offer out there that one person has accepted, and we are looking for a second teacher at this time. So I think there's a challenge to it.
Okay, and so when we're looking at, can you just maybe explain a little bit what the qualification requirements are for each of these positions?
Let's see here. Do you guys want to explain?
Sure.
I'd have better.
The teacher is a.
You have to come up to the front.
Joseph Stickler, Finance Committee, I'll let you get away
State
with
your
it.
That's right.
State your name. Mike.
Yeah, I'm Mike Reed, Superintendent of the Wildlife Sanctuary. The teacher is a early childhood licensed teacher from DPI. And the naturalist is college graduate typically, and has a background in biology or ecology, and has been environmental education, and then it would just depend on their background in environmental education as to their hire.
Okay.
The naturalist is an hourly position, and the teacher is a salary position.
Okay. Are these positions competitively compensated for the skills and qualifications that are required?
The salary we're able to offer is competitive with beginning salary with the Green Bay School District for 4K teachers.
But without benefits?
But they do get WRS, so they do get the retirement. We do workman's compensation is also paid for them. The only benefits they don't get are the health.
And dental, vision?
Health, dental, vision, yes.
What about vacation
That
time?
package.
Sick time?
We actually have 3 paid days off for each position, and that's better than the school district. School district has 2 paid days off for their
But sick
teachers.
leave, do they get sick leave?
Well, that would be part of the paid days off are,
Okay,
would
but
be,
school
they
district
can
gets-
use
you
them.
get 10.
Yeah, right.
Get 10 sick days.
They
so.
can use them
Yes.
for whatever purpose they want or need to use them for. And as, you know, you're very familiar with this contracting, it's very similar to the contracting for teachers with the school district in the duration of the contract. It's a yearly renewal of
Right.
that contract.
But the big difference is the health insurance.
Health insurance.
Correct.
And
Why?
if I understand, you guys are adding on, so you're anticipating adding more teachers in the future, is that correct?
Well, we would have the capacity to do 1 more classroom if the demand was
So how
there.
many classrooms would you have total?
Well, we'll have 2 this year, and then it would be 3.
And so you would look at 3
3
staff?
teachers and 3 naturalists. Then
So
if
it'd
we
be
went
6
that far.
employees.
Yes.
Why wouldn't we want to have the teachers be school employees and just have the school hire them and install them?
Well, this is considered a Model 3. So the Model 1 is where the school district hires their own employees
Sure.
in their own building.
Okay,
A Model 2 is where the school district hires the employee and rents space in another facility,
okay,
and they run their program there.
right.
A Model 3 is a true partnership, where the school district partners with an outside entity. Here it's the Wildlife Sanctuary, but there's also Encompass has Model 3s, the YWCA has a Model 3, and there's Peace, Missouri, I think.
Yeah,
So
Peace.
there's about 13 of them.
Right.
And then in that case, the school district takes the per-child reimbursement that they get from the state.
Okay.
They split that in half. They keep half of it and do all the administrative part, child registrations, the immunization records. They do provide specialties, so if we need a speech therapist, they come in. If we need a physical therapist, we did have a young girl with CP, and they sent a physical therapist, so they provide those specialties. They give the facility the other half of that money, and with that, we pay the teacher and the naturalist, pay for supplies and, electricity and other incidentals.
So there's not enough money to pay for health insurance?
There's simply not enough money that we could, be able to pay health insurance benefits in that pot.
And I understand the model, and that makes sense, and I didn't realize it was so widespread throughout our community. I mean, all those different organizations, and I think that's a good idea. But, I would imagine in all those places, there's issues with money and compensation. But I struggle with wanting to get eventually 6 employees dedicated to the education of our children at their most formative years.
and they're struggling every year that I either better find another source for insurance, or I better not get sick, because we know what it costs for out-of-pocket, period. And I just wonder if that's good for the entire program to have the potential for that turnover. I mean, me personally, as much as I would love being out there doing that, as soon as an opportunity came up to go to get into a school where I would get that insurance benefit, you know they're gonna be jumping at that. And I understand this isn't all our issue here.
Right.
But it's a collaborative effort, but I just wonder, has there been much effort, or any effort, or is there an ongoing effort to try and, to me, do the right thing and give them health insurance?
I mean, like through the city, like couldn't we potentially?
Well, if the city was willing to budget for that extra money to give them health insurance, I would not be opposed to it. We have one pot of money to run the program.
Right, you can't.
And every year,
Yeah.
we tell you how much you have, and that's it. And
Yeah.
I understand, it's just, we've got a cool program out there. And it seems to me, I haven't heard about anything like that anywhere else in this area, much less the state. And the fact that we're expanding it, I think is, wow, commendably great. But at the same time, you
For
wanna
some
make
people,
sure-
it is important, for others, it's not.
Sure.
For insurance, if your spouse has insurance, you can't double dip anymore. So if one member of the family has insurance, you decide which
It
insurance
helps.
you're going
Sure.
with. But if
I know.
we have the money available, I'd be
You would
more than
spend-
happy
I-
to see
yeah,
them.
And I
get-
don't want it to seem like
Yeah.
we're coming down on you. It's just, this was something, I'd heard some stuff about this, but I didn't realize exactly what was involved in and how this works. And I guess I would, and it sounds like all we're doing tonight has been spending money that we don't have or we haven't allocated. I mean, I'm not lying to you, between finance and personnel, it seems like we've been doing a lot of that. But at the same time, this benefits our community. And I think to have 6 individuals in there that love what they're doing and have more of an incentive to stay year to year to continue to improve those programs, I think it would be a benefit to this community also. And
But is that why they left? Is that why the ones who left?
No, a
left?
lot of
Because
them
they
is,
didn't
we had them move, the teachers that moved went for personal development reasons, really, more than anything. They went on, we will never be able to match
The
what the
salary.
school district salary eventually over the years
Right.
can pay them, and,
is
there
that
ain't.
because there aren't
there-
raises built in, like the school
Well, we have
system?
raises, we do the 2% raise for them.
Well, I'm talking about, the school obviously has systems in place to give them more than a cost of living increase, and we don't have
Well,
that.
right, and they can move, there's more movement within the school district.
Yeah.
Some similar programs that I will share with you in Milwaukee, they've had teachers that stay with the program for 10, 12, or more years, and are happy with that. It depends a lot on the individual.
How's the
Because
recruitment
why?
been?
Is there a difference in their compensation in Milwaukee?
No, actually, they pay less
Oh,
to some of their
okay.
people in that program in Milwaukee. They're only about $12 an hour. But they just love the program, they love working with the kids. But I don't think that should be, people who love that should be taken advantage of, I agree.
Right, right.
Okay.
How's the recruitment pool of candidates been?
It's been very good. We, whenever we have a position and we open it up, we get a good.
Lots of
Yeah,
applicants.
we get a lot of applicants.
So, yeah.
I mean, right now, the way that it's classified LTE, I mean, if the city were to say, yeah, we're gonna budget for health insurance and put these individuals, in a similar position as most of our other staff, would that just be a reclassification?
I think we need to look at our policy to see if they work the minimum hours to qualify for health insurance.
Right, because it's only
Per
seasonal.
year, yeah,
It's just
so that's gonna be
school
the
year.
issue with that.
Well, because all teachers are seasonal per se.
Yes.
Could we negotiate with the school board to maybe split it 50/50? I don't know, whatever, but I mean,
There's
negotiate with
no
them.
way. It's a Model 3. Because if that happened, then
Everyone
they,
gets
all
it.
13
Oh,
Every
yes,
would
13,
get
right.
it. Yeah,
Then it
that's
needs
not
to
going to
be-
happen.
Yeah.
I think what we can do is explore options to see what we can do to get them benefits. That's
Okay.
what we can do.
Yeah, and I think it's unlikely you're gonna have anything in place that affects this year, which is
Right.
obviously, it's a summer program?
No,
I mean,
no,
I'm
no.
sorry, it starts in September.
It starts in
That's what I meant to say.
September and runs through June,
Yeah.
right?
And
The
I
regular
know it's about
school
to
year.
sail, so,
The full
yeah.
year, yeah.
Okay, so obviously you're gonna have your staff in place by then, but
Yes.
you can always offer the benefit later if you deem that we can budget for it. But I do think, I mean, that's something I would ask this committee to do, is take a look at that, and if there's a way that we can refer this to staff to figure out how we can, whatever we have to do to reclassify this employee's budget, whatever, to provide a benefit to individuals that are highly trained, highly skilled, and they can't even have health insurance for their families.
Right. So my question would be, we can approve this item right here. Do we, or does Brian or me or someone have to write something up so that for the next personnel meeting, we can direct staff to start investigating that and putting a
That seems clean to me, and I'd gladly do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Or can we
Yeah,
just
right.
do it tonight?
Well, so right now, it's an informational item. You just receive and place it on file. If you trust me and your staff to just explore the options, you don't have to put anything in. But if you want to put something in writing, go
No,
ahead and do
that's,
it.
Oh,
I'm okay with that.
We'll just
Are you
explore
okay
the
with that?
options.
With trust?
Trust.
Trust.
Wow. You're laughing too much.
No, I'm good with
Yeah,
that.
if you feel
Okay.
it's,
Yes, that
All
sounds
right.
great.
All right,
Okay,
and
thank
I can
you.
report back to Oliver's and Johnson on what
All right.
we find.
sure.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck with your upcoming school year.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see the finished product when you get the addition and the other classrooms up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
running.
Invitations.
Yeah.
Do we need to take these each separately for informational, or like just move to receive and place on file, item 1?
You might have to suspend the rules for that,
Oh,
to take
what?
them all together, but
Okay,
I think so. I could be wrong on that.
There's
I'll
only
check
two
with our city
things.
attorney.
Yeah.
But, I mean, for the most part, these are informational that I think you would just receive and place on
okay,
file.
I move to receive and place on file,
Second.
item 1.
Okay, a motion by Alder Dorf, second by Alder Corpus Dax, all in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed. Number 2, recruitment initiated to add 2 full-time criminalist specialist positions approved as part of the 2018 budget. Staff.
So this is part of the 2018 budget where they budgeted for these 2 positions, and we're just informing you that we're going to recruitment and we'll be hiring these 2 positions.
I've heard they already closed it because of the overwhelming response.
I think that's.
Yeah, we have interviews scheduled for next week.
All right.
Move to receive and place on file?
Okay. Motion by Alder Corpus Dax, seconded by Alder LaFave, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, last one. Nope, report of routine personal actions for regular employees.
And you have that report in your packet, so if you have any questions,
Nope.
answer them.
Move to receive and place on file.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Dorf. I'm going to give the tie to Alder Corpus Dax. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, unopposed. Next meeting date is September 11th, 2018, after the finance meeting, which starts at 4:30. Public hearings, we have nothing. Take a motion for adjournment.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, motion by Alder LaFave, second by Alder Corpus Dax. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank everyone for their diligence.
Yes, yeah.
We good?
Yeah.